Welcome back to the channel, the #1 place on YouTube to increase your income, impact, and influence, where I literally just pull back the curtains and share literally top tips, strategies, business models, and lessons along the way of me generating multiple 8 figures and literally spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in lessons and trying to figure this stuff out. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, click the notification bell, because every week we're dropping brand new videos. And if you're not new to the channel, I have a gem for you. Today we're going to talk about the 3 stages of wealth creation. All right, so when we break down these 3 stages of wealth, first and foremost is wealth creation. When you're creating wealth, as I mentioned, you may currently have a job, you may currently be doing some sort of income where you're working for someone else or you're exchanging your time for money, right? So in this beginning stage, what's gonna happen is you are trading time for money. You need to learn a high income skill set that's gonna allow you to earn more money with less time. Now, it's one of the most important resources that we have because you cannot recreate it, replace it, or purchase it. You only have 24 hours in a day. It doesn't matter if you're a billionaire or if you're homeless. There's only 24 hours in a day. So what the wealthy do very, very well is they understand how to maximize the amount of money that they can make in a short period of time. If you rely on exchanging time for money, you're going to do that until you're very old and then you can no longer work. The goal is to find ways to have your money work for you without you working for it. There's tons of different ways to do this. There's investing in stocks, there's crypto, there's owning businesses, there's e-commerce, there's real estate, there's trucking. There's tons of different ways to do that. For those of you who are not new to the channel, the way that I did this starting out my phase 1, which was wealth creation, was with e-commerce. I was working for minimum wage, hand sorting through trash at a recycling plant, and I went from $7.25 an hour living in a 1-bedroom apartment, broken, miserable, and disgusted with my life, to becoming a millionaire in 1 year. So I want you to understand that regardless of what anybody else is saying, it is easier to make a lot of money in a short period of time than it is to make a little bit of money over a long period of time. And the key thing that you need to understand in the wealth creation stage is the time to money ratio. If you want to double your money than what you're doing right now and you have a job, simply go double the amount of work that you're doing, right? If you're working 40 hours, work 80 hours. If you have one job working 40 hours, get a second job working 40 hours, you'll double your income. Chances are you don't want to do that. Why? The rich, the wise, the wealthy, the successful, they know how to exchange money for time and to have their money work for them 24/7, 365. So that's what you have to figure out. For some of you watching the channel, it may be e-commerce, it may be something different. Whatever it is, you have to identify that and you have to exhaust that. You can't start your chapter 1 on someone else's chapter 8. Now, if you look at me, yes, all of my businesses run autonomously and sustainably, and there's passive income from these businesses, but that's not how I started. When I was in phase 1 of wealth creation, I had to exchange my time for money. The difference was I find one product that is selling 10 units per day on Amazon. I'm making $100 per day off the same time input. It will probably take you more than 40 hours to find this product, but I want you to see this visually, how you can still exchange time for money, but it's exponentially more. Stage number 2 is gonna be wealth accumulation. So you have this mechanism that is generating you money. So what's gonna happen is this money is starting to sit. It's starting to accumulate in a bank, in a savings account, in a business account. What you need to do is you then need to inject or redeploy this into your business to then produce significantly more cash flow. First, I started with time to learn the skill set. Once I learned the skill set, I applied the skill set. It started to generate money. Now, once it starts to generate money, that's phase number 2. It's starting to accumulate. What I then did is I took this money and I invested this money. That's gonna take us into phase 3 that we're gonna get into in just a second. So if I work for $10 and then the $10 sits in the bank, it's earning 0.001 on that $10. You're never, through compound interest or any lies that the traditional financial institutions are telling you, is never going to make you wealthy. What happens is you take that $10, you turn that $10 into $20, you invest the $20, and then it pays you. So in this strategy that I'm teaching you guys as you're starting, you have number 1, which is investing in the business. That's the primary mechanism that's building and generating you money. That's the cash flow. And then number 2 is outside the business. Now, I'm not gonna break down crypto and real estate and trucks and all these other investments that I have. Down below in the comments, if you do want me to break down my investment portfolio, we own several different businesses, from logistics to e-commerce to real estate. We have a portfolio of over 50 properties. We're looking to acquire several hundred more this year. If you do want a video on that, down below, let me know and maybe I'll do it. But these are the two main things that you need to focus on right here when you're starting out. The business is what's going to drive growth the fastest, or wealth accumulation the fastest. When I started out, my passion was real estate, not e-commerce. I learned e-commerce through a mentor, and it was an opportunity that I was given. The 3-step framework to being successful is very simple, and you can take this framework with anything that you want. So number 1, find the thing. Number 2, start the thing. Take immediate action. Number 3, don't give up on the thing. It's not sexy, it's not easy, it's not a hack, it's not some secret sauce, but it works. For me, it was e-commerce. I took action on e-commerce. I didn't give up. First 3 products failed. Fourth one made me a millionaire, changed my life forever. So once you find this thing, you identify this thing, you take action on this thing, do not give up. And then when the thing is working, remember phase number 2 that we broke, wealth accumulation. You come in and you start to reinvest into the thing so you can exponentially increase how much money you're generating from the thing. Now, that looks different for all of you guys. Remember, you have to evaluate this equation. How fast do you want to go? How conservative do you want to be? There's no wrong or right answer. For me, I went all in on this number 1 investment right here, which was the business, until it was sustainably growing exponentially. I mean, we did $1 million our first year, 3.5 our next year. After that, we did 8 figures. So when you have growth like that, now you can start to invest into other areas. I didn't buy my first investment property until my business was generating over $3.5 million per year. That's not a must for you. I'm not saying that's the magical number. All I'm saying is I didn't want to bounce from one thing to the other thing, because you have to understand, my e-commerce business was generating me so much money. For instance, we had 35% profit margins. So for every 3 physical products that I sold, I doubled my money, and we were selling hundreds and thousands of units per month. So if it's flipping money like this fast and I'm getting paid from Amazon 2 weeks, this is just my thing. Why would I differentiate? Why would I go into real estate? The reason why I went from e-commerce into real estate is wealth preservation. So guys, you don't need 15 things to become a millionaire. You don't have to be trading altcoins, day trading options, learning Forex, doing e-commerce, wholesaling properties, learning the truck business, being a handyman, and have a job. You don't have to do all of that. Once you start getting the ball rolling and you're in phase number 2, which is wealth accumulation, then we go into wealth preservation. So you take the money and you invest outside the business in something that's safe, that will produce cash flow or ROI. You want this to be passive. Why? Because if it's not passive, then you're actively involved in it. And if you're actively involved in it, it's another business. And if you're actively involved in another business, it's taken away from your main business. My first business, I got up to almost 10 million. I should have sold that business. I didn't. I put all of my time, effort, and energy into all of these other businesses. I wanted to be this mogul investor. I wanted to be the guy with 40 businesses, and I wanted to do all of this fancy stuff. And then business after business started to slow, start making less money. And then I'd have to run from over here working on this business to running over here to work on this business. And I'm ping-ponging back and forth. And then you get exhausted. You get stressed out. You get overworked. You get overwhelmed. So the easiest way to do this is to build something up, focus on that one thing that's generating you the most income, and then take that and diversify it into other things. I have real estate. I have trucking. I do not work in these businesses. I'm a part of this business. I hop on a board meeting once a week. My accounting team, my CFO, my accountant, my bookkeeper, they work with the operations manager. There's a project manager. They work within all of these different components. I hop on a meeting once a week to answer any questions, to participate however I can, and that's it, while I'm focusing on the main 8-figure business that I have. So these are the 3 stages, the 3 phases of creating wealth. I know friends, and I've seen people who've done this in 3 years, people that have done this in 2 years, people that have done this in 1 year. There's no writing on the wall that states, regardless of where you are, where you came up from, how old you are, what your background is, what your ethnicity is, what your education is, what your GPA, there are no limits. So remove that self-limiting belief and live limitless. I have one friend that's my age, just sold a company for $47 million. I have another friend getting multiple offers on his business, $50 million, $75 million, $100 million, my same age. So there's no stipulation as to how fast you can go. Don't become addicted to education and allergic to execution. Take this information that you're learning right now because it's free and apply it, because information changes situations through implementation, not through daydreaming, not through getting warm and fuzzy on YouTube, not through being the best note taker, but through immediate, imperfect execution. Hey, I hope you got value on this video. If you did, it would mean the world to me if you smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. And if you've been on the channel before, or this is your new time, subscribe, hit that red subscribe button, click the notification bell next to it. That way you're notified every single week when we drop brand new videos. We have nothing to sell you here, and we want to help you increase your income, your impact, and your influence. By the way, in just a few seconds, there's gonna be 2 videos up above. Check those out next. I'll see you on the other one.